Okay, let's be a little bit careful with our bombs here.
Yeah, we definitely saw.
That was a lot of lag.
Oh, phew. Yeah, I was gonna say we definitely saw Dante have some really impressive aim here with his bombs. Andy giving us a little bit more drama, making this fight a little bit more dramatic. Ended up picking up his prize from Helmsor. Got exactly 1,000 rupees. That's a pretty cool number to have.
Excellent.
All right, so
Andy's number is not so shabby either.
That is very very true. Arguably more impressive in this case. All right, Andy though picking up. What is what? Oh, poor fairy man. Oh my gosh. All right. I guess there's nothing on Dante's side. All right, so at least we're gonna go into and get some solace in Thieves Town. The good news, of course, for Dante is that if he ends up taking a death, especially early, because just reviving the dungeon, he's at least gonna get some health back. But of course, it's going to be at again just a little bit of cost.
Yeah, it would be really bad if he just died on the way to Thieves Town now. But it makes it in safely, but still. He's had some really unfortunate things happen to him this race, and yeah, Andy's just been too solid to really allow yourself to make mistakes.
Yeah, no, Andy, of course, certainly has, I mean, both runners have really played, like, incredibly, solidly, right? Yeah, but sometimes, this is what happens with Randomizer. You just sometimes can't control it, just like, Andy here is with a couple of Lionels, very brave in order to get that map out of the attic, but of course, Andy, of course, in knowing that he's already, defeated Elmasor. Of course, not only in Randomizer, you definitely don't need to bomb the basement, or bomb the roof. You just need the chest in this case.
Don't have magic, Dante. What are you doing?
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh no, Dante! Oh, poor guy.
Right.
I think that is his. Yep, that was unfortunately his. he needed to die just a little bit earlier. In this case, we could still potentially fake powder on Dante's side. It is going to be a little bit awkward because you swap to Kane and then get the you don't have magic sound and then swap back. Wow.
Classic.
Wow, man. What a location for that hammer, huh, Ari?
Yeah. Man.
So
I don't blame either of them for last locating this, but it's a bit of a sad.
Yeah, the one item, you're talking about, making good going to locations that are, more pleasant, item dense, advantageous for you, etc. Right? So we cleared out the front of Thieves Town. There were 3 items. I'm sorry, cleared out the front of Thieves Town. There were 2 items. We defeated Helmsor for the 1 item and the green pendant, and of course the last one that you have to go all the way to the last possible location was a hammer. I mean, it is definitely one of those. I never want. You're definitely not going to check those, on anywhere on your priority list until basically like the very bottom.
Yeah, especially if there's just 1 item in the back, then doing everything for it seems a little unreasonable, especially when the boss is the green pendant. No, I don't blame anyone for deciding to do things like swamp or ice over this. But now the big question, like the huge question is, are we going to need the fire rod, yes or no?
Oh, that is a very good question too. So typically speaking, right, for especially for Randomizer, nice anti-fairy skip on Andy, is that we're obviously, more often than not, we end up finding the fire rod, and then we're like, are we in go mode? Are we gonna find some ice Trinex somewhere in Ganon's tower, or and back here in one of these bosses that we have to go kill? You know what? We're gonna face the exact same question because Trinex not only needs the ice rod, it needs the fire rod as well. Just happens to be a slightly, different question. Not oftentimes you get to face it with the fire rod versus the ice rod.
Oh, definitely. Of course, we might also kind of need in, like, quotation marks, the fire rod for right side of GT.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yep, if it's locked behind Oh, that's right. Yeah, if it's locked behind Compass Room, it is logically it needs a fire rod, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I would presume that both these runners are okay sequence breaking out right side GT with the lamp. I guess I haven't physically seen it from either Andy or Nancy, but I mean these guys are capable of pretty much anything from what I've seen.
Oh yeah, like I have no reason to believe they can't do it. I'm also kind of surprised that neither of them did hammer pegs.
Oh, you mean, oh yeah, while they're there. Maybe, so is this, so, okay, you are potentially a fire rod from go mode. I mean, but if you don't need it, you are in go mode. So is that something that you just don't think you're, like, are you just going to go mode everything at this point? Or do you still kind of search for things?
The chance that you don't need fire rod with Turtle Rock being a crystal is so small. Like the only reason why I brought it up is because it would be like a brilliant meme in a sense.
Yeah.
Not that it's like a super realistic option. That big magic that Dante just got is like so amazingly fortunate, because if it is something like Cold Stare, I guess it can just be Cold Stare at this rate. That's in the back, and you don't have magic, then you're going to be really sad. But yeah, that big magic saves everything. But even something like Vitreous would be super nice, just so you can use the cape.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, like, based on what we've seen in Thieves Town, right, on Dandy's side, magic management, even though with half magic, it is gonna be something that, you know, runners are eventually going to, you know, face, just like we've seen on Dandy's side. So having that magic even more is just gonna be a little bit more kind of like mental, you know, comfort, right? Don't have to worry necessarily about magic.
For sure.
But it looks like we don't have to worry, at least for Mothula today. You know, no spikes, no conveyor belts. Yeah, it's like swatting a moth.
Yeah, so moth means that fire rod must be in here, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Like, we had Hammer in Thieves Town with Helma being the boss. We had hook shots in Desert.
This is exactly why Andy must be going back in. That must be the exact reason, Ari, he heard you.
I just get it. Yeah, that's how it works. We haven't seen Armo, so the bow doesn't exist.
Yes, that is exactly correct. And of course, right, this being a hard item pool, at this point, they've already got Temper Sword, they already have their one bow that they ended up finding. There is no silvers in the game, so certainly at this point, I do not expect our runners to be looking for anything other than the fire. Oh my gosh, dude, what a left side swap.
Yeah, at that point, you should just skip it, probably.
Now, of course, you know, where else could a fire rod be? Not in left side swamp. You know, I think you did mention hammer pegs earlier. Certainly does not preclude the fire rod being in the first chest of Turtle Rock. Yeah. You know, why not?
Or even deeper into Turtle Rock, could be.
Or even deeper into Turtle Rock, that's right.
That would actually be pretty hilarious if you get like
you go all the way to like Mimic Cave
three small keys. Yeah. No, you get just like 3 small keys and the big key. And you get all the way to Laser Bridge, and then you find the fire rod, but then you need to go back to the front for the 4th small key to get to the boss.
You know, Ari, I was gonna say that I didn't think that the runners have suffered enough with that late hammer, or at least early on. But you know, I would take your scenario here for Turtle Rock key layout.
Like, there's some things that you can hypothesize about, but you just never see, and this is like one of the few chances that you maybe have the chance. So we kind of want to see it.
Alright, so, speaking of divergence, Ari, do you see that Dante is not repeating here what Andy's here doing on left side?
He doesn't believe in the boss and item theory.
No, I guess not.
Yeah, this could be the little bit of help that Dante needs, to be honest. But, okay, well, we now know that the boss was Mothula.
Was Moth, yes.
So...
it is not left side swamp. So it looks like, at least according to, you know, what we found on Andy's side, it was 20 rupees and 2 bombs. So there were 2 items left on left side swamp. And, well, so where is Andy going to? Presumably he is going to go to Pod, just like what Dante's doing, because this is going to be another clearable crystal dungeon.
Yeah, this is like the the logical next step. And yeah, so I guess normally the Ice Rod is always in Turtle Rock, so we'll see what the Fire Rod brings us
where is
today.
the... That's right.
I love the instinctive switch to the bow.
Yeah, you know, Dante has been, you know, recently picking up some NMG, right? Actually, he hasn't run it too much, but already has managed to put up a 129 times, so it's certainly very impressive.
I see he learned from the best by also shooting into the wall.
You know, the wall needs some love as well. Okay, it's not just the statues. I think that, you know, this just means that Dante's not discriminate.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, the extra left side swamp definitely flips the lead for a little bit. It's, I don't know, close to 40 seconds at this point, I would say.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering, I don't know if, you know, if Dante is thinking, you know, type of state of the match thing, or if he maybe was feeling maybe a little bit more internal pressure to say, you know what, if I need to buy back some time against Andy, because I'd already lost, like, the big bomb, the first place.
Yeah.
You know, didn't really have a great time in the back of Thieves Town, for example, you know, if he needs to cut some corners. Left side swamp is certainly not going to be something unreasonable.
Yeah, I definitely assumed that to be the case, to be honest. Like, at some point, you do have to decide, okay, I kind of know Andy's playstyle. I know he likes to play it safe, so he'll probably do left side swamp. I need to skip something in order to be able to make up time again.
So then, I'm pretty sure Dante was supposed to pull out the bow here on Lamos. Instead of the ice rod, it would have definitely helped his, you know, some NMG practice.
I can forgive him, considering the state of the race. Like,
all right, so long as he doesn't more bow Lamos after this, we're all good.
Okay, well, you get to entice him for that.
All right, sounds good. All right, that is Dante's 6th crystal, soon to be Andy's 6th crystal. Where are we going? It looks like maybe up the mountain with that saving quit.
Yeah. Okay, looks like Turtle Rock it is. Maybe Spike Cave. Like, Spike Cave's probably pretty acceptable.
Yeah, that's right. We did get that pretty late hammer. Spike Cave now is in logic.
Turtle Rock it is.
All right, we're going in. Andy picking up his 6th crystal. Let's see what Andy decides to do.
Okay, so we have at least one item left in ice, I believe. We have hammer packs, we have Spike Cave. I'm having a hard time really thinking of anything else, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm trying to think right now what that hammer actually unlocks for us, and what these runners haven't already done at this point, because they've certainly done, like, everything.
Well, ice it is for Annie. Okay.
Interesting, interesting.
Okay, we can see. Is it free? Okay, it is not. We were close. Attempts were made.
Yeah, it is not quite not quite as free as you might lead us to believe, Harry. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey, look at that! You know what? We got sinking bombos, just not quite in the same location.
That's even more amazing.
Yeah. Alright, this time though, I presume Andy coming back into getting that last item for in Ice Palace, he is probably going to Icebreaker. Unlike the first time. Alright, so this is gonna be alright, so what are you even hoping here for, Ari? Are you hoping for a small key? Are you hoping for not small key?
Like you're hoping for just fire out here.
Okay.
But, okay, well we get to be hopeful for a little bit longer.
Alright, so the suspense is continuing. We don't get validation one way or another.
Like, if you're really me, you just hope for the mushroom laser bridge.
Oh my gosh, dude, that is... That's right, we already, you know, did our shovel, we already did our powder. The one potential room here in the entire game that's actually made easier by lack of, or whatever, Randomizer. Alright, locked out, not in Turtle Rock, so presumably Danny's gonna do Spike Cave at this point?
Yeah, probably. Okay. Now, yeah, good thing there's no hints and that's like unique items in Turtle Rock.
Oh jeez. That would be awful.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Like, I definitely think that ice is a reasonable choice.
Mm-hmm.
but it's also so time consuming. It's all, like at this point, you're just going to continuously think, okay, what has Dante done? What has Andy done? What has Dante done? Like, okay, did he go to ice before Thieves Town? Maybe he had the hammer for like ages now. It's like continuously just like overthinking everything.
Yeah, especially, you know, you are an hour 25 into this race, right? I'm thinking about all the different things that you've done that actually have not paid out, right? And it's just, you just have to have a hope that your mental game is very much still focused. Dante found 20 rupees in Spike Cave and was actually in fact Fire Rod locked out of Turtle Rock, so it is not on the mountain. Andy here is looks like you're dropping down to yet another Argus, more pleasantly colored this time. So is it? So you? It's either here or Hammerpegs. Is that right, Ari?
I think so. Unless
Okay,
there's an item in Hera. Someone was asking about Hera. I don't remember if there was actually an item in the basement. But Fire Rod is always behind bombos.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Alright. Well,
looks like the fire begets fire guideline in this case has paid off for Team PugTrio. Andy has found the fire rod and he is now in go mode, going to go clear out Turtle Rock. Wow, what an amazing what an amazing fight.
Yeah, I think at this point Dante has to go straight there. He does have left side swamp left, but I think ice is like the more reasonable check at that point.
Yeah, looks like that is exactly where he's going. And yeah, unfortunately, you know, we did see that it was Argus who did have the last item. So, well, I think this is going to be Dante's, well, second trip to ice, but I think third time basically going through the dungeon because he did Icebreaker the first time and unfortunately got locked out because he couldn't find a small key to get through the locked door. So had to kind of start this over again. So at least, you know, if those of you who enjoy the Bombos animation, this is the seed for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're almost got another sync bombo, so almost.
Almost, yeah. Andy just needed to. You know what? Andy makes it look free.
But yeah, all signs are pointing to a game 4 and a possible game 5, which, I mean, if you like Randomizer, that's definitely what you want to see. More rando, more better. Possible co-op entrance battle in the grand finals. I mean,
that is true. I mean, yeah. I mean, of all games, right? If you want, you know, of all series, I mean, these teams, Titan's Miss here represented here in this particular race by Dante. The rest of the members, of course, Relkin and Sailor Nep. With the PugTrio, this is represented by Andy. The other team members are Futon and Solski. I mean, these are 6 amazing runners. If you want to see Game 5 between any two teams, this is going to be your choice.
Say I'm disappointed by Fire Up being required for Turtle Rock.
Yeah. If only. Alright, so actually, you know what? Chomps is one room that is made easier with Randomizer. The fact that we have no rollers here on the Fire Rod lock side also is certainly going to be one of those contenders for easiest room in the game. I know that some people do like the back of the front of Skull Woods.
Yeah, I would say that Turtle Rock probably is the one dungeon that gets easier in Randomizer. Not many dungeons do.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, Andy, trying to show us here a little bit, some skill here with Kina Samaria, trying to get to the Chomps room, or the lack of Chomps room in this case. We're creating some Lionels instead and some Ropas. Couldn't quite move fast enough to beat them, but you know, we're all good.
And he still has a ferry as well. So that's pretty comfy for GT. We haven't found Blue Mill, have we?
I want to say that there is no Blue Mill in this particular hard item pool. That's what I want to say.
That's very possible.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but like the hard item pool is the one that's like officially advertised on the website. I know that like SGL hard item pool was slightly different. That did include blue mail.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but all these different variations, it's sometimes it's hard to keep track of basically what has what.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely a pro commentator who checks this stuff before the race starts.
No. All right, looks like though Andy does not have the big key. That is a problem. Did we not go to the vanilla big key chest? I was so. You know what? This is great news for Dante. Andy is just given some time right back over to the other pug. This is gonna make the race just a little bit tighter.
Yeah, there's still GT routing as well. It's not over, but
oh no. I mean, well, so by the way, so not only is there GT routing, right? This is also endomized GT, right? You have no idea what the gauntlet looks like, and
yeah. But in that case, I would still probably give the edge to Andy just by the sheer amount of fairies that he has, which is 1, but that's still more than 0.
That is fair. I will say, though, that it doesn't matter how many fairies you have. If there is a wall master that catches you and upstairs GT, no amount of fairies can help you in that situation.
That's fair. At that point, there's just tears.
Yeah. Yeah, at an hour and 30 some, that is holy cow. Talk about Chomp's room, you know, it's just transplanted itself into Crystal Roller. Yeah.
That looks worse than normal Chomps.
I agree, because at least in normal Chomps you can try to avoid it, right? I mean, Andy did a very good job, by the way, trying to get that small key, but that was not pleasant. Did you just see the reflexes on Andy? I don't even know if we saw the roller, but he just instantly activated that cape in order to avoid damage.
Yeah, definitely not his first rodeo.
Yeah, so speaking of not his first rodeo, we don't have, of course, Mirror Shield, but we've got Boots. Andy, you know, very, very proficient at Boots laser skips. Luckily, of course, the small key is only on the second chest of Laser Burst, so we don't have to go look for the rest. Looks like we're gonna still try to do some Kane strats from Vanilla.
Very convenient magic once again. On the other side, we always hear it when it's not someone's first rodeo, but we never hear it if it is someone's first rodeo. That's kind of crazy.
True. Yeah.
Oh my what? God. Unbelievable. No backdoor strats.
Yeah. So we did see a vanilla Trinex boss here. Of course, Andy taking him down, no problems whatsoever. Dante remembering to get the big key the first time. So this is going to be great news for him. Save a little bit of time over Andy, and he is going to presumably finish up and follow up basically what Andy has to do. But that's definitely tightened up the race quite a bit. So we're going to see what time Andy leaves Turtle Rock, and we're going to get a sense of what the time gap is here.
Yeah, it looks like it's something like 2 minutes, maybe a bit more. We'll compare the sort ups.
Okay, sounds good. All right, that was 1:34:09.
We're totally going to forget about the other sort up. I'm just going to tell you already.
Sounds good. All right, so okay, I see tons of numbers here in chat as Andy runs through that pink, blue, lavender, dead rock. So feel free, yeah. It's time to find the last big key that we need for the game, GT. So feel free to put in your guesses in chat too, and do part of the prediction as to where you think that GT big key is. Let's see in this case what Andy decides to do and what Dante also decides to do to follow.
All that's going to be way more than 2 minutes, actually. I love it.
I guess it was just the back of Turtle Rock. Is that what the difference is?
Yeah, it's definitely the back of Turtle Rock, but like Trinex alone is a minute.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. All right, Andy's going Hope Room first. So check number 1 is a map. Check number 2 is a small key, so we can keep going. Looks like Andy is interested in continuing on to the right side. Yeah, I don't assume that Dante is going to do any crazy routes in GT. Yeah, I mean, well, the fact that we did see a small key in Hope Room, even if Dante goes left to do Stalfos, like the amount of variance between Dante and Andy's GT routing is definitely shrunk pretty significantly.
Yeah, exactly. But
Right.
maybe we do get to see Trinex on ice or something that's required.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Andy at least looks like he is in pretty good, physical health. Sorry, physical pug health. He's got full health right now. Still got a fairy in his back pocket, and he's got a reasonable amount of magic. So certainly, would not necessarily expect the worst. But again, Ice Tronics is not an easy fight. We're finally gonna get to see some difficult enemies for once in Randomizer.
After an hour and a half.
Yeah,
we got some trickies. We also had both players play a little bit greedy at times, just like walking around on beeping health for majority of dungeons.
Okay, Dante looks like taking down Trinex, very well done. We finally have the bug net. That is actually surprisingly a good safety to pick up. No more potions, of course, for us, but if there are any anti-fairies around. That Spirit Roar, by the way, has definitely earned his keep here in GT.
Oh yeah. Oh, the double, nice.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Some nice boomer strings.
Yeah, at least these rooms look pretty vanilla. You're basically right. I definitely do not. Yes! Oh man.
I hate Randomizer, I swear.
Andy seems to be, getting through the siege just fine. He has played remarkably well. I mean, obviously she goes to show his experience, but you can actually see that basically the one death that he ended up taking was when he was trying to get to East Death Mountain via fairy revival, right? Tried it once, lost his fairy, but he hasn't used his other option yet.
Alright, another invincibility. Okay.
Yeah, looks like Dante is also literally doing left side first. So I think because we did not see anything in Compass Chest, this is going to be slightly slower. But of course, if Big Key is in Tile Room, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, that's another thing, of course. I mean, it's still a little bit slower to do this route over just right to left. If there is a small key in Hope Room. Oh, very convenient.
Yeah, look at that bug net immediately being put to use on Dante's side. He realizes the value of the fairies here.
Okay. Well, what's in here?
We've got a bow out.
Aww.
This time at least we have the hammer. So no more bomb mass blowing up here for both our runners.
Nah, this would have been awesome with bombs.
For us. Looks like Andy may not have the same idea. Although this fight with hammer I'm not even sure if it's gonna go that pleasantly.
This doing this with Green Mill is surprisingly dangerous. Like he has a fairy, but oh man, he needs to be careful.
Yeah, he's down to one heart.
Okay, yeah, this is fine. Okay. No worries.
Oh, phew. I mean, it's not like Andy made it look, incredibly easy, but I think Andy definitely undercuts how difficult that fight is.
Yeah, it's really the Green Mill that makes it really spicy. Oh, Dante is just going for... Imagine if it was not behind Helma. It would have been ultra sync.
Yeah,
that's sick.
No, you are absolutely correct, Eric. Because actually, so Tile Room does take 40 some seconds. I've never timed this, but it's something around that ballpark, right? And they would have just been rooms different here up in and.
Yeah, it would have been ultra sync. That's man. I actually wanted that to happen. It would have been brilliant. Yeah, it's definitely not even a wrong play for Dante to make, considering everything that happened. He lost location, multiple things. He failed the bomb dupe. He had a couple of awkward deaths. Yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's, I mean, yeah, all these decisions, right? Have been very reasonable to make on Dante's side. It just happens to be that sometimes even if you make reasonable decisions, the game doesn't have to be reasonable in return.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, Andy, of course, you know, trying to be some, you know, playing not necessarily conservative, just a bit more sensible, right? He does have a fairy that he did not have to use at Ice Helma, but we don't know what's waiting for us, you know, in front for Upper GT. No reason to take any chances. Speaking of that half magic and fire rod being put to use, right? We definitely don't have to worry in this case about the gauntlet.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, you can also see, you can see that there's a reason why we want to use Fire Rod or Hook Shot or anything that doesn't involve our sword for against Baris.
Very reasonable gauntlet for Andy here. Oh, he really wanted to get that spin off. That would have been really good. But it's a solid place to stand. Yeah, makes it through relatively cleanly. No Trinex here.
Yeah, no Trinex. You know, we did concede Vitreous, I guess. Yeah, and so yeah, good thing we found that cape and half magic. You know, so typically speaking, of course, in MG, you get to use the slime to your advantage, which is basically environmental effects on in Meyer. Here, not so lucky. You know, those eyes do 4 hearts of damage on green male, so definitely did not have the luxury of doing the traditional like 3-spin approach.
The knowledge that you don't need to kill the bats, or like the weird eye bats, in order to open the doors.
That was a nice fairy drop.
I mean, in a way, you create your own luck, but stuff like that definitely helps.
It definitely, yes, I absolutely agree. The fire bar, lack of fire bar certainly does make things a little bit nicer, although a Hinox probably isn't going to be, you know, what you would consider to be a heartedly replacement. But yeah, that half magic definitely was is very nice for Andy to be able to basically skip 1 magic refill. You know, use a fire rod basically. You know, at his leisure, and just pick up the big one, and then just go straight to Agatu. Oh yeah, we have one more boss here. What is this gonna be?
Probably Moth. Oh, it's just Coldstare.
Oh, it's Coldstare. You know what?
Oh, we're going to see the memer, and now he's gonna.
Yeah, this particular boss, I would actually argue, is actually one of the best ones potentially to deter both Andy and Dante's like boots, you know, tech movement, because you've got the falling icicles, right? So you gotta kind of like time things well.
I don't even know why he's doing this. Just the problem is, like, if you hover over, you can't cross the stairs until you break his shell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he has to, like, he's gonna hover, and then he has to fire rod. Like, I don't really think bomb boxing helps. I think you have to fire rod it from below.
I never knew this about Randomizer.
Okay, well, apparently it does work.
Okay, alright, well, I guess, you know, we trust in Andy's Randomizer experience. Speaking of experience, oh my gosh, Dante! So we're back on half a heart here, going up the gauntlet. Now, of course, Dante he's caught at least 1 fairy for himself, I know that. But still, you know, you're mentioning, we are not stopping for anything at this point. Dante's playing probably as aggressive as he's going to be able to try to up the gauntlet.
By the way, there was a wall master in the conveyor room before.
Oh, really? Was there?
Yeah. I think so. I think I saw a shadow pop up.
Alright, and so Dante looks like he is not, he's willing to spend the extra, I don't know, like 6-10 seconds or something to get the safety refill to basically go up the gauntlet. Meanwhile, Andy, after Agatu is defeated, he is a giant pig away from victory for Game 3 and forcing a Game 4 and potentially Game 5 against the Titansmiths.
Slippery body. Alright, so at least there's nothing spicy going on with Ganon, so after all the torture that you get put through with an Randomizer seed, at least Ganon is just like nice and cozy.
Yeah, the one piece of familiarity that we have in the entire seed is right here on the final boss of the game.
Exactly.
Alright, Andy making very quick work of the first couple of phases of Ganon. We're just going to wait until he finishes warping. And then we are ready to take 12 more spins, in this case, to do a victory. I
do think that boss shuffle should also include Aga and Aga 2, by the way. Just
that
imagine.
That would be amazing, actually. I don't know if that's like tech, like, is that possible, like tech-wise?
I have no idea. But imagine, like, having an Aga seed and then finding Trinix at the top. It would be like...
that would be... that would be awesome. And think about especially like if you have to use Aga for Light World access, right? Think about like the amount of health potentially that you have to have in order to face Trinix at that point.
Yeah, it would be great.
Would be great. I mean, I think for fans of Randomizer, this is exactly the type of thing that you want in the next version.
Yeah. Get out of the devs.
Yeah. All right, so Andy has finished spinning his way to victory in Phase 4. Get your GGs out in chat. Andy is holding up his sword. He's going to cross this bridge, crossing the finish line, going to claim first place in this race between himself and Dante and the Titansmiths, and he is forced a Game 4. Looks like we've got official time of 1:47:03. GGs.
Huge GGs.
Yeah.
Very nice round.
Meanwhile, though, Dante is certainly not far behind. He is going to... Yeah, he's already basically on almost to the pre-Moldrum chest at this point, or whatever, pre-Ice Cold Steer chest.
And we're joined by Andy. GG's. Nice run.
Yeah, GG's.
Hey, GG's.
So, any initial thoughts about the seed? Looks like actually you played, I mean, like, your gameplay overall was actually very, very solid. The only death I think we saw you take was the intentional one, with the trying to do fairy revival, but otherwise I think you were just absolutely solid in your execution.
Yeah, I feel like I played decently. This was just maybe like the worst Randomizer seed I've ever seen.
You guys got boots and tempered sword in like 10 minutes. How could you say it's bad?
Required hammer and pendant, back of Thieves Town, fire rod on pendant, Argus and Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some bad things.
Yeah, but
actually, yeah, so speaking of though, so what I guess made you go after Thieves Town, like when you're searching for Fire Rod, what made you go into Ice, I guess, to try and get that as opposed to like your other options?
Well, I forgot about hammer pegs until after I was already like, I'd already fluted, and so I was like, well, the last location hammer pegs, I don't even care. And there's no way I'm going to Turtle Rock before I'm doing the one more thing in Ice Palace. It's like best case scenario, it's just Ice Palace big key chest. It takes like, 35, 40 seconds, whatever. Obviously it wasn't, but
But have you considered that Fire Rod wasn't necessary at all?
Yeah, tell me more, Ari.
It was the dream, Andy. It was the dream. Just like dungeon items in the right side chest, and you can just go straight to the boss.
Well, lucky for me, Trinex was vanilla anyways. So,
yeah.
But yeah, like the item placements were just really, really bad. Like, nobody does the back of Thieves Town, even if it's a crystal and Randomizer. So like, just anything being back there is always, it feels bad. Yeah, this is like the polar opposite. I've never had 3 swords in 10 minutes in an Randomizer seed before. That was cool, I guess.
Yeah, it also felt like enemy and boss placement wise, like everything was pretty generous. It was mostly just the item randomization that was really awful.
Yeah, and we got hookshot relatively early, so it's like, you know, we didn't run into any bosses we couldn't kill.
Yeah, aside from Trinex.
Yeah, and then there's you know, there's no way I wasn't gonna go fight Helmasaur in Thieves Town with just bombs that early. So I also opted out of that one, but yeah, overall wasn't too bad. I feel like I played decently.
Yeah, you certainly also seem to be pretty thorough. Like, you decided to go back in for a left side swamp. I know that was something that Dante ended up deciding to skip as well.
Yeah, at that point, I had one thing in Ice Palace, one thing in Pod, Hammer Peg, Spike Cave, and potentially like only one thing, maybe 0 in Turtle Rock. So I think it was just like two. It was my most item dense area I have left.
Yeah, but I mean, also right. You also did the front of like the first chest of swamp without the hammer as well, like because you were in the area with Bombo's tablet, right?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, it looks like with that, we'll just temporarily take a break, talking to Andy. Give your GG's out in chat for Dante, who has crossed the finish line with apparently 141. Yes, so GG's. Dante, we're also joined here. GG's.
Yo, thanks. GG, Andy.
GG's, Dante.
Man, this was a hot mess. Look, I just wanna say this up front. So I practiced 6 of these just to kill time and stuff while we waited for the match.
You practiced more than me for this? What the heck?
Yeah, so here's the funny thing. Out of 6 practices, I had 6 pendant thieves towns, and 5 of them had progression in the back. And literally the one time I went back there in practice, there was nothing. And I was like, I am never going back there again. I don't care if it burns me. And if it burns me in this race, then so be it. And I was so tempted to go to the back so early when I saw it. I was like, just go. But I was like, there's no way I can do that with good conscience. It's going to be just heart pieces. Amazing item placement.
The RNG strikes again.
It does. Like, I don't know what it is about hard Randomizer. And while I was waiting for the delay, Ari, I did consider that Fire Rod wasn't required for TR, and I was praying really hard that that was going to be my one out because I didn't feel great.
Yeah, you definitely had some unfortunate things happen to you. Yeah, it was pretty.
Was that part of your? Yeah, I was gonna ask. Yeah, was that part of your decision? I guess endgame, right? So you got hammer out of Blind's hut, or sorry, Blind Cell, and then you had your options, right? Going to Turtle Rock or Spike Cave, ice, hammer pegs.
I intended to check hammer pegs after thieves. I got too wrapped up in I can do swamp. So I just went there and I was like, I am just gonna clear this, and unless there's 3 items left, I definitely am not going back in. Just because I was like, it's so linear at this point. Basically last locationing the hammer. I think I had a few one-offs in random places. And if it was there, I was screwed. If it was left side swamp, I felt screwed with the fire rod. So I was like, maybe it's deep in TR, and then I got a mirror to get a key or something stupid. But yeah, at that point, that felt like my only out. So that was kind of the strat. And then I had no clue why Andy wasn't done in GT. So I was like, we're gonna do in tile room. I was like, maybe there's a Trinex on ice and he's dying 100 times. He wouldn't die 100 times, but I was just thinking of scenarios where, like, what's my one chance to win this?
Yeah, it definitely seemed reasonable considering the state of like what we saw happen and like the state of like what you thought you were probably in.
Yeah, I mean, it's you think about you play Andy and it's like, well, he's pretty good at the game. I've been told. So there's like no margin of error you can make, and we made a couple of those. So I felt okay until the bomb dupe fiasco, and then I was like, I don't feel great anymore. And then when Hammer wasn't there, I was like, I really don't feel great.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same. I also had no idea if picking up half magic on Hylia Island was going to despawn the big bomb or not. So I was like,
that's
you know
what
what?
you were
Screw
you did
it.
that?
Yeah, I like thought really hard. I was like, I'm gonna look like an idiot if I just don't grab this and nothing would have happened. And so I like hesitated for a second. I was like, you know what? Whatever. Like, this is already terrible. And then nothing happened. But I was like laughing to myself because I was psyching myself out so hard.
It's pretty brilliant, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think I hard last location the hammer as well. So I also didn't feel great.
Yeah, both of you did, as far as I could tell.
But none of my practice seats had anything in the back of Thieves Town. So yeah, this was just rough.
It was certainly entertaining to watch, for what it's worth. So.
I had a lot of fun, as long as I don't have to play it. But...
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun to play. You know, I had a couple people DM me, why would you pick Randomizer versus Andy? And I'm like, look, I'm not playing MC Shuffle because I'm not gonna pick that. I hate that mode. I'm gonna play something I enjoy playing, even if I'm gonna lose. So, but yeah, it was. I think this still was a good pick, and I had a lot of fun. I didn't like the item placement, but had fun with the enemies and
Randomizer's
stuff.
always a blast.
I think the difference in your collection rate, by the way, was that quick
literally
you didn't pick up, Andy.
Well, there was left side
Oh,
Oh, there was left side one too. That's right. Yeah.
And then
he
there was
also did.
tile room for
He did
Dan.
tile room, and I didn't
Oh,
do
yeah.
that. We'll just say it was tile room because that was the
Okay,
last thing that
sounds
he
good.
did that I didn't. Yeah, this is always fun. You know, glad that we didn't, you know, make it all the way to the finals just to get swept. So that's also cool.
So I guess any thoughts about Game 4?
Double the pressure.
I don't know. We flirted with either me or Solsky playing pretty much every playoff round, and then kind of just like, you want to do it? No. Okay, well, I don't really want to do it. And then I don't know. So we just decide somehow. So, so yeah, we're not too sure yet, but we'll figure it out soon.
Sounds like amazing strategizing for the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter who's going to get sent and whatever the mode is, I'm sure the race will be a blast. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, yes, 100%. Sometime, I guess, later on this week, we will have a Game 4 TBD for both runners and time, but definitely keep your eyes on the schedule for that. It's going to be just exciting, if not more, for this.
Yeah, thanks for commentating, guys. Ari staying up late for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's a blast. Always enjoy watching some rando with some cool peeps. So thank you so much for the show, and yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. Any other thoughts for you guys?
Seconding what Andy said. Thank you guys. It was fun, and we'll see how Game 4 goes.
Yeah, I think everyone is looking forward to that. So this was one heck of a seed. Certainly take the remainder of the evening off and chill out for a bit if you are so interested. We are definitely looking forward to the Game 4 of the last finals match between Titans Mids and PugTrio. Yeah, so keep your eyes on the schedule for that. Game 4, of course, as you just heard, is still in the works, but everyone is going to be excited. No more hard Randomizer, I think, for the rest of the season. It is going to be, MC Shuffle, Ambrosia, and what's the last option?
Cordless.
Swordless, yes, that's right. The other mode that Dante likes. Yeah,
I mean, the other fun mode.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, all of these are are really interesting. Especially if, you make these very high tier runners run these modes. It's very entertaining and very exciting to be able to watch. This race, of course, was an absolute blast. Thank you, Dante, and thank you, Andy, for letting us restream you guys and putting on such an awesome race. You guys played, I mean, like, very, very well for what the seed basically gave you. really cool to be able to see like a lot of tech come out. Any other thoughts from you, Ari?
No, thank you so much for asking me to come. And
yeah, no,
I
this was
had a blast.
Yeah, this was great. Definitely looking forward to the next one. Thank you, Jinxie, for our trackers. She did like such an awesome job, basically, and you saw how many things that our runners ended up picking up. Certainly had to work overtime today, I would say. And of course, thank you for SpeedGaming for letting us basically have this on your channel. And until game 4, everyone enjoy Rando.